People, this is NomeTV. Hey, I'm coming back with y'all with another video. For this one today, is just a quick little video about the Pistons, man. Specifically getting into Reggie Jackson. Uh, Basically, it's a don't fear, I think he'll be all right kind of scenario. All right. Uh, I've just been it's been kind of quiet about the Pistons, especially around Reggie Jackson. People not feeling him right now. They mad about KCP's departure. You got people mad about Marcus Morris being gone. Uh, Somehow John Lure is still here, which is not right. He don't know what to say. They saying putting Avery Bradley at point guard and just put the rookie at shooting guard and just say go on and saying effing it. I don't think that's got. I just think that's a little bit drastic. I don't think we have to do that. I just read a report where it says that Reggie Jackson is doing fine. Okay, he went to he's been going through a 16-week kind of program to get the tendons in his knee, making sure it's going good, and then he's been seeing the team's therapist, physical therapist Mark Creston, about making sure that his body is being well kept up. He's all good to go for camp. He's all good to go to be able to get his synchronized with the team again. Uh, the Pistons probably go play these young players anyway to take pressure off him. But for the most part, I feel like Reggie Jackson is going to be fine. I feel like people already calling it over for him because of that injury. He had some good games last year that he was healthy in. Even on days he's healthy, he was able to move around. So I'm quite sure that, that as long as he stays healthy, he'll be fine. I feel like he can go back to his 2015 to 2016, early part of 2016 form again. You know what I mean? And I think this could be a bounce back year for Reggie Jackson. I'm not that concerned about it. I know a lot of people not feeling the Pistons either right now because the way things going, especially the way they just did with the free agency. They not too many people feeling that. Uh, they feel man, Stan Van Gundy got a lot of players. Uh, then that's young and he ain't gonna play them. And I'm just gonna say what he said that he was gonna try to play these guys. Now that's what he said. He said he's gonna try to play them. So everybody's entitled to their word. I know it comes off like nobody wants to believe him. But if he said he's gonna try to play them, I think as Pistons fans we need to just go ahead and just settle in and say, you know what? All right, fine. Let's see if he go try. And then if he don't, then criticize him later. But for now, he says he's gonna try to play him. He has nothing but young players around him now, so it's almost like he's forced to do so. You know what I mean? He understands now, hopefully, that you can't just underdevelop these young players. At the same time, you gotta give them a chance to, develop, or your team gonna be held back. You gonna be, free agency for every sports team is getting real hard. It's hard to find talent now to replace certain guys you got, or to acquire your team from whether it's football, baseball, probably hockey and basketball as well. So the future lies on these young players. Sending them to the D leagues is not going to help them out. You got to get these guys up, man, over the next couple years. And he missed a big opportunity last year to get Ellison some snaps. Even at times, maybe even though despite the struggling Ben and Jay, maybe should have gave him some snaps early in the season. Maybe should have kept Ray McClellan. You know what I mean? Maybe should kept a lot of these guys like that instead of some of these old washed up veterans like Aaron Baines and Deron Hilliard, who was going to offer you absolutely nothing. I just saw a situation last year where I felt like Ish Smith got blamed for everything that went wrong. And people literally turned on Reggie Jackson last year and blamed him for everything that went wrong himself as well, man. It's like, come on. Y'all knew this guy wasn't in tip-top form. And that's just some mental errors he made mistakes in that probably cost us a few games. But he had some games he actually looked like his old self. But, you know what I'm saying, to blame the entire of our problems on three people and be upset that Stan Van Gundy has not gotten rid of him is just atrocious, man. Who played overall in that team like a G? Not even our most consistent players played that well. You know what I'm saying? So nobody on this team defensively is averaging 3 blocks. Nobody's averaging a certain amount of steals a game. We gotta get this Pistons team up and ready to play defense, and we gotta get them. And we gotta get these young guys, to get some experience. And right now, that starts with Reggie Jackson being star point guard and pushing, Avery Bradley to shooting guard. And let me address that too, guys. I know people feel like, oh, he didn't try to keep KCP and this and that and the other. Make no mistake, I still know this old Pistons organization. If they see a player that they feel really helped him out, they go find a way to keep him. They'll find a way to get the money to keep a player they want to keep that badly. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to keep Drummond for the most part. They had the money, they felt they had the money to do it, they kept his ass. So I feel the same way about this guy Avery Bradley. If he come in and have like a big offensive and defensive year for us, where we get to the playoffs and possibly be forced to get down to the 7th seed, they're going to find a way to keep him. Just understand with KCP, they tried to keep him, but they didn't try to keep him. They said, hey, we feel like you was worth this amount of money. He wasn't feeling it. Okay, do what you do. We'll trade somebody else and get another guy here we might feel more polished than you are. And that's the point about it. Anyway, like I was saying, though, back to Reggie Jackson. I feel like he'll be all right, man. Just give him some time. But the best thing Stan Van Gundy needs to do, though, like he says, to play some of these young players early. You not force your starters through the ground like you did last year. That was another issue. Maybe Drummond and them could have been better if you didn't tire him out one game and made him slow for the next couple of games. And that's next. Especially on back-to-back situations. You cannot sit there and play your starters for like damn near the whole game and then expect them to come back the next day and play it back-to-back the same way. That is not how you do things, man. You got to give these guys some time to rest, and you got to trust some of your young players, even if they're struggling. And that's what I'm saying. You got to play some of these young players in the early part of the season, so that way you get Reggie Jackson more warmed up. You know what I'm saying? You ain't burning him out, along with Drummond, along with this new guy, Avery Bradley, along with, Tobias Harris, who needs to be starting, by the way, not sitting off the bench. Another little issue I got with them. They tell us, that depends on his teammates. I read an article saying it depends on his teammates if Tobias Harris is going to start. I don't like the fact that you did that, Stan Van Gundy, because you let one of your best offensive players on the team sit on the bench in favor of a guy who brought you nothing. Everybody was nice enough to say John Lure had half a season. He was good. It really wasn't even half a season if you really estimate it. It was really under half a season, maybe a quarter of it, and maybe barely that. And you let Tobias sit on the bench going against Golden State, giving you 27 off the bench, and you still kept him on the backup. Who does that? You should have had John Lure in the backup. Now, I feel like this guy needs to be starting, and maybe either Stanley Johnson or Henry Young. One of these two got to start, man. Right now, as your starting lineup, if we go expect to do anything, you need to get your top guys to start again. And that includes Reggie Jackson. Not need to be sitting here acting like he's some 18-year-old vet that can't play like that no more. He will be just fine. Stop being scared. Everything will be all right. But, that's all I wanted to say. I want to give a shout out to DVE, man. Basically, y'all know who y'all is, man. Man Beast, Mondo, Raymore, Dante Chase, 313 Hitman, Craig Jotman, man. Who else? A few more y'all. Everything King, shout out to you. You should know one. Mr. Highland Part 313. Who else? Who else know out there? I know we got so many people in the group. It's kind of hard to remember. It's kind of hard to remember somebody. I see what they mean now. Yeah, it do be hard, Chase, to remember people. All right, but yeah, man, I'm about to get on up out of here. Y'all stay up, man. Later.